The Beach FM Business Lunch Show, brought to you by PlaceMakers Kapiti and Horowhenua. Together we're building New Zealand.
Welcome back to the Business Lunch Show on Beach FM 106.3 on your Thursday afternoon, and let's welcome into the show Paraparaumu Ward Councillor Martin Halliday. G'day, Martin.
G'day, Damian. How are you going today?
Very well, my friend. How are you doing at this time?
Wow, I've actually just been down at a cafe at Paikokariki, catching up with Councillor Sophie Hanford, introducing her to my two daughters. Hopefully interested in getting involved in climate stuff. And getting a little bit wet in the process. Yeah, it's definitely a climate day, that's for sure.
Hey, Martin, I've got you here for one purpose, but, you know, it would be remiss of me if I didn't touch on your vast experience in hospitality, your different industries, your love of Kapiti Coast in the last 10 years and all the things you've done, you know, founding member of KETA, etc. But in your own words, would you be able to tell me just, you know, a bit about yourself and like some of the things that you've done for the Kapiti Coast?
Well, sure, Damian. Yeah, I've got about 30 years plus experience in the hospitality industry. I worked through the Park Royal Hotels, opened the Arizona Bar, had my own business with regards to function coordination, representing different caterers, but always from a front of house perspective, the same in corporate environments. Also had Circa Theatres food and beverage operation for about 17 years, developed that from a very small operation into quite a large one. But we moved up here about 12 years ago. And it was a lifestyle choice. My wife's parents, well, now wife's parents, were up here, and it was we'd gone through that scenario of a split family, and the move up here was for her a move away from Wellington, a place that was a bit more relaxed, and I followed her, and I thoroughly enjoyed it up here. We finished up at Circa, and the idea had always been to start a small business up here, and it was her turn to make a decision around that. And she wanted to do a little old English style tea house, and we did our due diligence over a period of about a year, actually, on all sorts of different cafes up on the Kapiti Coast, and found that, well, to be honest, a lot of them were a bit overpriced for what they were, and sort of a bit outside our budget. So we went through the path of less resistance and put together a little tea house at Paraparaumu Beach in Seaview Road, which was a little grotty pet store. We stripped it out and turned it into an authentic little English tea house, and we were there for about 4 years. We actually picked up the first Electra Business Award for customer, the first customer one, must be about 7 years ago, which was great to have our little business be able to do that, because we're up against quite a lot of larger businesses as well. But I guess that emphasised our focus on the front of house side of things, which is what I specialise in, that and bars and beverage as well. Finished up there, we sold that business and moved on. Well, actually, after that, I ran for council, funny enough, 3 years ago. I, in that process, got involved with the Business Association down at the beach, which I ended up as chair of. And it was one of the interesting things I found was when I went into council asking about a tourism strategy or an economic strategy, if you like, around Kapiti, there wasn't one, and that actually surprised me quite a lot. And I guess ever since then, I've been pushing to try and get that happening, if you like, in the ways that I can, and that's led me through some very interesting pathways. So I wasn't successful in that campaign, but it did hook me up with a very interesting individual, in Carl Webber, and he got me involved in the Guardians of the Marine Reserve. And around that time, I was also involved with other people through the startup weekend that happens on the Kapiti Coast, which is a very interesting scenario as well. And that's where actually KETA originated, the Kapiti Economic Development Agency. And that was a group of like-minded people, or entrepreneurial types, who were just a bit frustrated with the direction of tourism, of economic development on the Kapiti Coast, and ended up forming a collective as a voice in that arena, working with groups like the Chamber, but trying to represent the business community, if you like, as a voice for the community with regards to landing a economic development strategy, if you like, which seems to be an ongoing issue, as well as hopefully a tourism strategy. And we're still battling away with that one. But in that time, I also had the opportunity to get involved at Lindau, at the cafe up there. I went to, funnily enough, to give them some advice and halfway through that meeting, ended up saying, would you be interested in me taking over half the business and seeing what we can do with it? And unfortunately, that didn't work out through various reasons, primarily around not really wanting to be in business with the person I was in business with, which is a hard decision to make when you're in business. And I stepped out of that when I had the opportunity to, after about 10, 11 months. And since then, I've really been, I was down at the Kapiti Boat Club, which, interestingly enough, with the gateway conversations that have been going on, gave me a lot of insight into the dynamic around the boat club and the dynamic of a gateway down at Paraparaumu Beach, if you like. So leading through that, I finished up at that. That was a relationship that lasted for about a year. And then my focus was, well, looking at getting involved with council. But in that time, I'd been involved with KEDA, the Kapiti Economic Development Agency, and we've been, I guess, looking at ways that we could move Kapiti forward and trying to work that in with council. But we're finding that there was difficult. We had a lot of difficulty in that community council sort of interface, if you like. And I guess I've sort of been put forward, if you like, by KEDA, or as part of the relationship I have with KEDA, in the last election cycle, to see whether we could get some influence in that area. Not so much KEDA influence, but just some influence for business on the Kapiti Coast, but also, I guess, that interface with regards to how council works with the community. And fortunately, from my end, I guess, I got elected. And some would say that's a fortunate or an unfortunate situation, but it's been thoroughly enjoyable, but very challenging as well, especially with the COVID situation that we find ourselves in now. That's me sort of giving you a quick rundown. Is that sort of helpful?
Yeah, that explains a lot. And the award you got was the first Electra Business Award for Customer Choice Award for Excellence Service to our customers. So I'm seeing a picture that people are pretty important to you, Martin, and the growth of this community. When did you see the focus of Kapiti Coast being the retirement elderly population to an actual growth, and where have we seen the kickback from the growth that has just naturally appeared over the years?
It's an interesting one. The seniors market, if you like, I think it's been interesting over the years. It's almost been a little bit discredited. It's always we've been called heaven's waiting room, if you like. But when we talk about economic development, we look for clusters that we can develop, and that's actually a heck of an important cluster for our area. In regards to our growth, Kapiti's just a really cool place. I mean, I love it. We've got this group of towns, if you like, these townships that each have their own personalities, and I think that's one of the things that makes us different, but also a bit special, because each one of those areas has its own personality, and we should be building on that. I guess where there's been a bit of a problem has been how has Kapiti promoted itself, and we seem to haven't really got that one right yet, and that's to me where we need a plan, and that's where the economic development strategy comes in. That's the framework for our plan as we move forward. And there's been a struggle to get that in place for a while. And I personally think we've missed out on a lot of opportunities because of that lack of planning, because we tend to then have a knee-jerk reaction, which we've seen with our PGF fund applications, rather than having a planned approach to how Kapiti is growing. And we have Transmission Gully opening up, which to me is a huge game changer for Kapiti, because everyone used to come up to Kapiti, but I think we had a big problem about 15 years ago with traffic, and that was we had a lot of accidents, and it meant that people were coming out here to take 3-4 hours to get home, and I was part of that. And Wellingtonians sort of started giving Kapiti away. It started getting too hard, and I've been here 10, 12 years, and I noticed, Centennial Highway now has the dividers, Tenatapu's been done. I find that there's very little times that I'm brutally held up in traffic, nothing like there used to be. And a lot of Wellingtonians aren't aware of that, I think. And I think that Wellington is that's our market. That's where we should be marketing for people coming up to the Kapiti Coast for day trips. But that's certainly where I see us expanding. But we have so much happening on the Kapiti Coast. But I think we're one of New Zealand's best kept secrets. And the question is, how do we get that changed, I guess?
Absolutely. Hey, Martin, I want to talk about COVID-19 now. How you? I know you've taken a step back from the business world in the last year and a half to concentrate on your duties as Paraparaumu Ward Councillor. How was that time over the last couple months for you, dealing with your portfolios, health, seniors? How was that time for you?
Being candid, I found it difficult. It's anything. Where to start with this one? To be honest, COVID happened so hard and fast, and I don't think anyone got it right in the early stages, other than our Prime Minister. To be honest, you're dealing with a situation that you have no idea where it's going, and you're dealing with it in real time. I know our Mayor had all sorts of conversations around the potential forecasts of death, of where this could have gone. And in my view, we certainly dodged a bullet. In my portfolios, and I was involved with the self-isolation support group right from the beginning as well. I was trying to get this nudged along even towards the end of February. And our council's position was to take the Ministry of Health's directives, if you like, and there was nothing wrong with that as a way moving forward. But this evolved very, very quickly, and my concern was our elderly, how they were going to be looked after. And a self-isolation support Kapiti, because I have the portfolio of seniors, offered a very effective way for us to engage with those people, and they did a fantastic job. I do feel that there were some issues. Well, I know there were some issues around how our council dealt with that group and dealt with myself in regards to those, should we call, community interfaces. We're very fortunate on the Kapiti Coast that our support agencies are very good, and I think our support agencies were able to cope with the situation as it arose because it didn't get out of hand. But there was a lot of concern and a lot of worry that potentially it could have. And from my perspective, it was trying to look at ways that we could be putting processes in place to communicate with our community if it did get out of hand. And fortunately, it didn't. So I think we've got some reviewing to do. And interestingly enough, I was just having a conversation around that with Councillor Hanford that we need to review what happened over the last couple of months and take lessons from that to make sure, because this whole COVID conversation is far, far from over. We have yet to, I think, see the major fallout that's going to happen from the business side of things in relation to the knock-on effect of the financial aspect of it, the wage subsidies finishing up, and just a general lack of business compared to where businesses were at before going into COVID-19, especially coming into a winter season from a hospitality perspective as well. And what's going to happen? We've dodged a bullet. We're going to get down to level 1, but our borders are still closed. And what's the potential as we move forward? What's going to happen if we do go up to level 2 or 3 again? And are we as a council happy that we can pretty much will flick the switch back on again and learn, having learnt from a very much a crash course in how to deal with the situation, take the lessons from that and the positives and the negatives, and make sure that if we do find ourselves in the same situation, that we are even better prepared than we were previously. And I do want to mention that, council did a fantastic job with regards to maintaining our infrastructure. Our staff stepped up. They had to, just like all other businesses did, they had to go remotely in a space of about 2 days, which was a very difficult thing to do. And they did it very, very, very well. They ensured that our infrastructure, we had no hiccups there. And a lot of staff were repurposed in the EOC and in the call centre as well. So our council certainly wasn't idle. I certainly take my hat off to them. But I do think there were some issues with the public interface and how that occurred. But again, as long as we can be insightful and work together with regards to ensuring that these lessons are learnt, then I look forward to doing that.
Absolutely. Lastly, Martin, it's a pretty broad question, mate, but where to from here? How do we just keep on trucking on? How do we just keep on pushing forward and adapt and continue to grow in this region?
Look, I think we've got to be realistic, and I think we have to be prudent. We need to be patient. We have yet to see how this is going to unfold. We might go back to level one, and it might be a lot of open for business as usual, but it won't be as usual because people's perceptions of what the normal is may have changed quite dramatically. If people are working from home, can I suggest that you have your meetings at your local cafes? We need to be supporting our local businesses as much as we can. But on the same token, we have to, I think, respect the fact that a lot of people will be tightening their belts, and we really don't know how that's going to impact on things. I think prudence is important. We need to take a bit of a step back and a bit of a wait and see attitude in some ways, because we're only about 13 weeks into this. And we've got economists telling us we're 3.5 to 5 years away from even looking at the end of this recovery. And we have yet to see how the economic stuff unfolds. So I think we're in a good place. I do believe we have dodged a bullet. But encouragingly, how everyone has looked after each other, how everyone's reached out to each other, how everyone's been positive and supported and helped each other, I think it's just been amazing. And we need to, hopefully we don't lose that. I'm involved with another group called the Kindness Trust, which just received their charitable status through Martin Sloman. And I want to see the good news stories out there. I want to see us, reinforcing that, and perhaps having a different approach to consumerism and a focus on what really is important in life. I think a lot of businesses are going to be challenged, and if I can say to those businesses, there's support out there for you. You're not alone. I know, especially with small businesses, we've gone through the first phase of COVID with regards to our community and how that deals with it. We're now going to have to go through the second phase, or our phase where it's our businesses' turn, and there's going to be a lot of hurt out there. The chamber's there. Kakita's there, the Business Support Network is there, KCDC is there with their economic development team, who have done fantastic things in the business community over COVID. Even as a ward councillor, if there's a hospitality business within my ward, and you don't know what to do, please reach out. And I just say to everybody, there is assistance there, there is help there. Please do not feel that you're alone, and reach out to some of those agencies, even if you feel uncomfortable doing so, or reach out to your ward councillors who can perhaps hook you up with some people that can help you or advise you and help you through what's going to be some very difficult times for a lot of people.
Outstanding words, Martin. The last question I always ask, and you kind of already said it, how do the people find you? How can they get in touch?
Look, I have a website, which I must admit I need to update a bit more now, which is martinhalliday.co.nz. You just look up the KCDC website. All our councillors' details are on there. You can give me a call or you can send me an email. And if the markets get up and running, and if we drop down to level one, you never know, they could be down. That could be the case. Not this Saturday, but maybe next Saturday. I'll certainly be down at the Paraparaumu Beach Market for at least next month on Saturday mornings. Feel free to come down and have a chat.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Martin. Go well, my friend. We'll catch up soon.
Anytime, Damian. I look forward to it. And fantastically, we've got a business show with Beach FM, and any other time I can have a chat, please feel free to give a call. Thank you.